guys, it's Brittany with Lester Family Baby Farm, and I thought I would give you a quick update from our appointment today. Today was a follow-up appointment with our doctor to kind of go over what went right and what went wrong with our December cycle. Ultimately, what went wrong is we didn't get pregnant. What went right is, hello Rosalie.
What are you doing?
I'm vlogging, can I help you?
No.
Special guest today, I guess. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Can you go let your sister in? One more special guest.
Hi.
Oh, half naked baby.
Hello.
Hi.
This is a camera. My name is a game.
You want to say hi? Say hi. Hi. Back to what I was talking about before my adorable interruptions. So yes, we went over what went wrong and what went right and try to kind of figure out what we want to do next. I responded extremely well to the follistim injections, and that's great. Bad news is I probably wouldn't respond very well to Clomid or Femera, which are extremely cheap compared to the follistim. We're talking like a $4 copay versus like a $3,000 copay. So good news is follistim works great. Bad news is if we do anything different than timed intercourse, our insurance will not cover my medications. Now, do I agree with that? Absolutely not. To me, it doesn't make any difference. If you will cover a medication, why not cover it altogether? To me, it just is silly that you'll cover it, but you won't cover it if I do artificial insemination or in vitro fertilization. And I can even see the argument against the in vitro fertilization because you do create an embryo or baby in a test tube or a petri dish. But for artificial insemination, all of that still takes place inside my body. So what's the difference between timed intercourse and the insemination? But I guess I'll just have to vote differently for my congressman to hopefully get that approved one day. But my doctor is extremely strict on, he's not going to sign off for my insurance to cover the medication if we are going to do IUI. So after talking to him, we decided to do another semen analysis. At the last semen analysis, Jeremy had great quantity, but they were sluggish. Only about 38% were actually moving, and of those, it was a small percentage that were actually the correct shape or morphology. I guess I didn't really take that into account too much before, and so we kind of asked him to rank, out of 100, where on the scale are we showing up? And he said probably about 30% to 27% out of 100, would be perfect amount, perfect swimmers, perfect shape. We're only about 27% to 30% on the scale. Now, our doctor didn't outwardly come out and say, hey, I would like you guys to move on to IVF, but he just didn't seem to speak very highly of timed intercourse or IUI, and he put a big emphasis on that he had no control over the eggs and the sperm meeting and fertilizing, that all of that happens by itself, and that there's a lot of things that can go wrong in that process. And he kind of broke it down, piece by piece, scientifically, of exactly what happens, and we talked about the lipids and the proteins and the enzymes and how they break through the shell and the whole step process, which we don't completely understand even in the medical world, but to the best of the ability that he could as a specialist break it down to us. And so we kind of left there with the opinion that Jeremy will go back this Thursday for a repeat semen analysis. He's now been on the Clomid for since the end of October. Yeah, so since the end of October, he's been on the Clomid and the Cardiotech and the vitamin E, all of which were supposed to help support making more sperm and making the correct type of sperm and making fast sperm. So we will do that Thursday, and then the following Monday, we will have the results on the 16th, I do believe. He goes the 12th. So it would be 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. So that Monday, we will go back for a review of the results of the new semen analysis and kind of what we decide to do from there. I don't really know how I feel. I know that it's just a numbers game. And so to me, it didn't seem like it's necessarily time to jump all the way to IVF. And the doctor kind of talked about every cycle you do, your percentage of it working gets lower and lower, which to me seemed kind of crazy, because if everything is perfect, every cycle you do, your chances should go up. And that was my opinion, because even if everything was perfect, it doesn't mean it was gonna work. And that's just by chance. Like, even if we did IVF, it doesn't mean it's gonna work. And there's thousands upon thousands of people out there where IVF doesn't work and everything is perfect. And we're talking, you know, a couple $100 for a timed intercourse cycle versus $10,000, $15,000 for an IVF. And so Jeremy is being the major business management degree that he has, that he's working on right now, and his finance degree is just kind of thinking, you know, it doesn't financially make sense to just jump all the way to IVF. And I agree. And so with the new information, we kind of have the decision of, do we want to do timed intercourse? Our doctor's not big into giving out numbers of percentages of if it will work or if it won't work. He was pretty surprised that we had 7 eggs and not one of them stuck around, and so I think he is more interested in moving forward with either IUI at least or possibly IVF. And I did ask him, you know, we have 7 children, Lord. We have 4 children, 2 of which were spontaneous pregnancies. Does that make our chances any better? And he said no. Personally, in my heart, I feel like it does. Women who have carried children before, it proves that your body is capable of doing it. It proves that there's not like some weird like immunity reaction to your husband's sperm. And it proves that like it can happen. And I've done it 4 times now and carried successfully. You know, I've only had 1 premature birth, but still I carried successful, healthy children. So I don't know exactly how much on board I am with the whole IVF thing. And then the other thought we had is, what's the price difference going to be between IUI and IVF? Since we personally have to pay for the follistim shots out of pocket, which is typically one of the biggest expenses you have with IVF is the medications. What's the price difference between IUI and IVF if I'm paying out of pocket? So that's something else we need to talk about with him after we get the semen analysis. Hopefully, let's all pray that the results come back and he's gotten significantly better, and we can just go on with time intercourse and continue that route. I asked him, my big concern was all the follicles I produced this past month, you know, that's 4 years worth roughly of a normal woman. Is it hurting my body or depleting my egg reserve by producing that many? And am I like wasting too many eggs every cycle if we don't get pregnant? And he said that from the test he's done, there's no proof that I have low reserve and that I still have plenty of eggs. So that shouldn't be a concern, which is great. And so that was good to know. That if we do decide to do this a few more times and I, you know, use 30 follicles every month, that I'm not putting myself and my eggs at risk of running out or anything. Personally, I would just love to continue to do time intercourse. My insurance covers it. But if we were to move on, depending on the price difference between IUI and IVF, we might just wait and save up and just do IVF. Either way, I don't know how comfortable I would feel jumping into IUI in February. I would feel more comfortable, since I have to pay for the medications, waiting and saving. So I wonder, why not try timed intercourse while we're waiting to save up that extra money to do IUI or IVF. So either way, any way we decide to go, we are going to do a medicated cycle in February. Personally, I think more than likely it will be timed intercourse. And then we will go from there. We've talked about me personally getting like a small part-time job to just pay just for the IVF or IUI. And it wouldn't take long to come up with that kind of money, just because I don't feel comfortable dipping into our savings or like getting any kind of like credit card or care credit card for paying for it or taking out a loan. I'd much rather just work for a month or two and save up and pay for it. We're not talking, IVF of course would be, you know, very much approaching the $10,000 mark. I do believe, I'm pretty sure that's around what it would be. So that would definitely take more time to save for, but the IUI, paying out of pocket for medications and the procedure, I think we're looking around $3,000, which, I mean, we could pay for right now, but I feel more comfortable making the extra money. So, not a whole lot of answers today. Of course, we always leave there with more questions. We talked with him for probably about an hour. We talked about all kinds of things. He's very much one to get off topic. And so he was bringing up politics and who did we vote for and all these kinds of crazy things. And I'm sitting there going, we're supposed to be working on making a baby here. And of course, Jeremy loves to talk. So they were all over the place. And I'm just like, hello, can we talk about follicles or sperm count or procedure? So we go back Thursday for the test. Hopefully it comes back great. Monday we get the results and I'll be ecstatic and be so excited. And then we need to make a decision because I need to order meds and I need to figure out if I need to find some type of reward program from a small pharmacy to help pay for meds, or if we're going to just do timed intercourse, I don't have to worry about that and my insurance will pay for it, but it still takes a few days once the doctor sends in the prescription, and then everything has to be FedExed overnight. And then they like for me to have all of my meds about a week to 10 days before I even start them. They like to have me have them in my possession. So it's exciting. We're only like not even halfway through the month and we're only 10 days past, you know, finding out that we failed in December, and we're already like gearing up to start another cycle. So it's exciting. Hopefully we have good news, and stay tuned. If you follow us on Facebook, give this video a like. Please subscribe and give this a thumbs up on my YouTube channel. Bye guys.